Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sumukascha Ekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhumaketurganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvataha Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavignopasantiye Yasyadvaradvatradhyaha parishadhyaha parastatam Vignam Nignam Vishwaksenam Tamasraye Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheswaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. With Bhagavan Great, let's continue where we left off yesterday. I think we were in slokam number 18, I believe. Yeah, Chaturdasam Narasimham Bibhrate Daita Indram Urjitam Tadara Karajaihi Vakshasya Erakam Patakrit Yatha. Talked about Nasimavata. Number 19. Panchadasam Vamanakam Krutva Agate Advaram Balehe Padatrayam Yachamanaha Pratyaditsuhu Trivishtapam. Panchadasam Vamanakam Krutva Agate Advaram Balehe Padatrayam Yachamanaha Pratyaditsuhu Trivishtapam. Panchadasam Vamanakam Krutva Agate Advaram Balehe Padatrayam Yachamanaha Pratyaditsuhu Trivishtapam. Panchadasam, 15th. Vamanakam, he came as a dwarf. Krutva, he did. He went assumed, he projected himself as a Vamana. Krutva, Agate, then he went. Advaram, he went, where did he go? He went to the place. Advaram means a place where sacrifice is being performed. In this case, it was a yagam, a yajna that was being performed by who? Balehe, by the king Mahabali. Bali was performing a yajna, right? To that yajna, Vamanakam Krutva Agate. He went there in the form of a dwarf, of a Vamana. Then Padatrayam Yachamanaha. Yachamanaha, he asked for. Trayam Padam, 3 feet. And why did he ask for that? Pratyaditsuhu Trivishtapam. Because Mahabali was such a powerful ruler that he was actually, the yajna that he was performing, if it was concluded, he would be ruling all the 3 worlds. Trivishtapam, 3 worlds. So, Pratyaditsuhu, Bhagavan went there desirous with the objective of recovering, obtaining the 3 worlds that Mahabali was actually occupying or lording over. Panchadasam Vamanakam Krutva Agate Advaram Balehe Padatrayam Yachamanaha Pratyaditsuhu Trivishtapam. Now, one minor digression I want to make, because this needs to be understood properly. Pratyaditsuhu Trivishtapam is the way Vyasa Muni described here. That is only a surfacial explanation, a reason that is given. Later on we will see Bhagavan went there and he conferred on Mahabali the most unique blessing that nobody else, no other devotee has received that kind of a blessing. Why? Bhagavan himself says, before he blesses him and puts his foot on his head, he says to Mahabali's son, and he tells all of us what a great devotee Mahabali was. So to bless the devotee is the reason Avataram came. All Avatarams, they come only with one purpose, is to give succor to the devotee. All the other happenings are incidental. Slokam number 20. Avatare Shodasame Pasyan Brahma Druhaha Nirpana Trihi Saptakrutvaha Kupitaha Nihi Kshatram Akarot Mahim. Several words seem to be difficult, but they are not. Okay, let me explain them to you. Avatare Shodasame Pasyan Brahma Drugaha Nrupane Trisapta Krutvaha Kupitaha Nihi Kshatram Akarot Mahim. Avatare Shodasame Pasyan Brahma Drugaha Nrupane Trisapta Krutvaha Kupitaha Nihi Kshatram Akarot Mahim. Shodasame Avatare. Now, 16th Avataram is a literal translation. The 16th example of an Avataram is the proper way of understanding it. Bhagavan's Avatarams are infinite. No end, no beginning, and Sutta also will mention this later. Okay, it will come. So don't think it is a 16th Avataram. It's a 16th example. Example number 16. If you want to call it that way. Pasyan Brahma Drugaha. What is Brahma Drugaha means? The Brahma is Brahmins. Brahmin means not the caste, not the lineage one is born in, but one who's very godly, a devotee, who's always thinking and loving Bhagavan in his or her mind all the time. That those holy people, sacred people, Drugaha. Drugaha means to persecute them, to punish them, to seek them out and punish them. And Nripan, Nr means human beings. Pan means the Lord. So in this case it's the king. Those kings who are actually persecuting holy people, okay, those days, when you say a Brahmin who was born in the lineage of Brahmanas, he was also following the duties and the dharma of a Brahmana. Never sought money, always doing the Vedic rituals and scriptural teachings and all that, conducting himself according to the scriptures. So they are actually following the duties of the niyamam, as they say, of a Brahmana. So these people were being persecuted by kings. Okay, Pasyana, seeing that, Trisapta Krutvaha Kupitaha Nihi. Kupitaha, getting incensed, getting provoked, getting angry at the fact, at this injustice. Okay, Trisapta Krutvaha. The Trisapta means 3 times 7 is 21. In 21 different attacks. Okay, Nihi, he eliminated, he negated those Chatra means those kings. Akarot Mahim. Akarot, he did that Mahim on this earth. He is talking about Parasurama Avataram, right? Avatare Shotasame Pasyanne Brahma Drugaha Nrupane Trisapta Krutvaha Kupitaha Nihi Kshatram Akarot Mahim. Slokam number 21. Tataha Saptadase Jataha Satyavatyam Parasarat Chakre Vedataroho Shakha Drishtva Pumsaha Alpa Medasaha. Tataha Saptadase Jataha Satyavatyam Parasarat Chakre Vedataroho Shakha Drishtva Pumsaha Alpa Medasaha. Tataha Saptadase Jataha Satyavatyam Parasarat Chakre Vedataroho Shakha Drishtva Pumsaha Alpa Medasaha. Tataha, thereafter. Saptadase, the 17th example of an avataram. What is happening? Satyavatyam Parasarat Jataha. Satyavatyam, in the womb of Satyavati, Parasarat, of Parasara, Jataha, born in other words, born to Satyavati and Parasara. Now Parasara's son and Satyavati's son is Vyasa, Veda Vyasa. And what did he do? He Pumsaha Alpa Medasaha. Pumsaha, this Veda Vyasa, when he was born to Parasaratmajam we say in Vishnu Sahasranam, right? Parasara and Satyavati was Vyasa's mother's name. After he was born, he saw Pumsaha, all these human beings were all Alpa Medhasaha. They were not bright. They were all dull-witted. You, me, and we are all dull-witted compared to the way people those days were. So they didn't exercise their wisdom. They didn't exercise their discrimination. They didn't exercise their buddhi very well, right? So he saw the Alpa Medhasaha. Okay, not very bright. He saw them. How are these people going to understand the scriptural teachings? They don't have the wherewithal for it. So, out of tremendous compassion and love for people like you and me, what did this son of Satyavati and Parasara do? He Vedataroho Shaka Chakre. He said, Vedataroho, the tree of Vedas. Taru means tree, Vedam. The tree of Vedas, Shaka, he cut them into branches. And Chakre, he did that because Pumsaha Alpamedasaha Drishtva, he saw that, he perceived that we have. So he made it, he grouped the Vedas into, as we know, 4 different groups, right? And so that we even though we may not learn all the 4 groups, at least one of it, at least a little bit of it, we can learn and put that into practice, understand it and put that into practice, so that we get salvation, so that we are freed for our benefit. He did that. So the Vyasa is also an avataram of Bhagavan. Tatas saptadase jataha Satyavatyam Parasarat Chakre Vedataroho Shakha Drishtva Pumsaha Alpa Medhasaha. Slokam number 22. Naradevatvam apannaha Surakarya Chikishaya Samudra Nigraha Adini Chakre Viryani Ataha Param. Nara Devatvam Apannaha Surakarya Chikishaya Samudra Nigraha Adini Chakre Viryani Ataha Param. Now, Devatvam, the divinity, Nara Apannaha, he obtained the form of a human being. Why? Surakarya, to carry out the work requested by Suras, by the angels, by the Devas. Chikishaya, in order to perform the act given by, requested by the Devas. And then he did many things. He did Viryani and the many great superhuman things that he performed. One of them is Samudra Nigraha Adini. Samudram, the ocean itself. Nigraha, he controlled. Adini, Nigraha Adini, he controlled. And Ataha Param, even that's one of the things he did. But Ataha, beyond that, the supreme, Param Viryani, all the things that he did were superhuman. They sacred, exalted, supreme itself. That is Ramavataram that he is talking of here. Okay? Nara Devatvam Apannaha Surakarya Chikishaya Samudra Nigraha Adini Chakre Viryani Ataha Param. Slokam number 23. Ekona Vimsatime Prishtishu Prapya Janmani Ramakrishna iti Bhuvo Bhagavan Aharat Bharam. Ekona Vimsatime Prishtishu Prapya Janmani Ramakrishna iti Bhuvo Bhagavan Aharat Bharam. Ekona Vimsaha means 19. 19th example. Vimsatime, 20th example. Vrishnishu Prapya Janmani, taking birth in the kulam of Vrishni. Okay? Rama Krishna iti, Rama Balarama, Krishna Krishna iti. That's what they were named. They were called that. Bhuvo, in this world, Bhagavan came. Bhagavan Janmani, he took birth and was called Ramakrishna. Okay, in the Vrishni Kulam, in the Vrishni group of people, Bhagavan came. Why did he come? Aharat bharam. Bharam. Bharam means the burden of the earth. Aharat, to remove it. And what was the burden that he was removing? The burden is only adharma. Adharma is the only one that burden that has to be removed. Dharma is never a burden. Dharma is the one that supports. So it can never be a burden. So the burden means basically the adharma that has to be removed. Ekona vimse vimsati me vrishtishu prapya janmani Ramakrishna iti bhuvo Bhagavan aharat bharam. Slokam number 24. Tataha kalau sampravrittah sammohaya suradvisham buddho namna anjana sutah kikateshu bhavishyati. Tataha kalau sampravrittah sammohaya suradvisham buddho namna anjana sutah kikateshu bhavishyati. Tataha kalau sampravrittah sammohaya suradvisham buddho namna anjana sutah kikateshu bhavishyati. Tataha, after that, kalau in the Kali Yuga, sampravrittah, he manifested himself, sammohaya, in a way to delude people. What did he do? Suradvisham. Who were the people that they're deluding? Suradvisham. Suradvisham is people who are jealous. Dvisham means desha means hatred, jealousy. In this case, when you hate somebody, when you're jealous, you are basically acting as an enemy, aren't you? So here it means the enemies of devas, basically asuras. So to delude them, sammohaya, anjana sutaha. Anjana, he was born as a son of Anjana. And Buddho Namna, the name that he was given was Buddha, that he was moving around as Buddha. Where did he move around? Kikateshu. Kikateshu is the land of Kikadas. This is what we call as today's Bihar area. Okay? So Kikateshu Bhavishyati. So he manifested himself in the Kikata Desam, which is current Bihar. He was born as a son of Anjana Devi, and later on he was moving around with the name of Buddha. And in that process, Suradvisham Sammohaya, which means he deluded, literal translation is he deluded people who are enemies of Devas. But what does it mean? Sammohaya, it does not mean it's deluding them. He actually removed their ignorance, removed their jealousy, removed their hatred. And this is what Buddha did with his tremendous compassion and love that he exhibited. Sura means all the good qualities we have. Desha means opposed to that. So when I am jealous, I am opposed to the good quality within me. So he removed that. Mohaya, deluding it, he removed it. Sampravrittaha, he took birth. Bhavishyati, sampravrittaha bhavishyati in Kali Yuga. Okay, Kalau. Tataha Kalau sampravrittaha sammohaya suradvisham buddho namna anjana sutaha kikateshu bhavishyati. Slokam number 25. Atasau yugasandhyayam dasyu prayeshu rajasu janita Vishnu yasasaha namna kalkihi jagatpatihi. Athasau yuga sandhyayam dasyu prayeshu rajasu janita Vishnu yasasaha namna kalkihi jagatpatihi. This atha asau yuga sandhyayam dasyu prayeshu rajasu janita Vishnu yasasaha namna kalkihi jagatpatihi. Atha, thereafter, after that, asau jagatpatihi, you can combine it that way. Asau, this Bhagavan, who is the Jagatpati, okay, who is the master, the controller, the proprietor of the Jagat that comes and goes, all the appearances and disappearances, right? And Yuga Sandhyayam. Now he's talking about Kali Yuga, because the previous sloka we mentioned Kali, right? So Yuga Sandhyayam. Sandhya means junction. What is a junction? When Kali Yuga ends and the next Yuga begins, that junction, at that point. Now, what happens? Rajasu Dasyu Prayeshu Rajashu Dasyu. You can keep it like that. So, Prayeshu means almost all. Not all, but almost all. Rajasu, almost all the kings. Kings here means the rulers of society. It could be prime minister, president, or whatever you call them. But almost all of the rulers, the administrators who were charged with the responsibility for the welfare and the well-being of the society that they are ruling over, those people, Dasyu, they became Dasyu. They became barbarians. They became plunderers. They started plundering common man's property. They plundered the faith and the trust that people put in them, right? And basically robbers and barbarians. That's what Dasyu means. When they become like that at Yuga Sandhyayam, Janita Vishnu Yasasaha. Vishnu Yasasaha is the name of one Brahmin, one person. To him, Janita will be born Namna Kalkihi Namna, with the name Kalki, who will be Jagatpatihi, who will also rule over the whole world. Kalkihi Namna Jagatpatihi Kalkihi Namna Vishnu Yasasaha Janita Jagatpatihi Kalkihi Namna. Okay, so he will come when almost all the rulers turn barbaric, turn against the interest of the people they are ruling and supposed to be taking care of. It's exactly opposite of how Parikshit ruled. Okay, so when that happens, Kalki Avataram will take place. Athasau Yuga Sandhyayam Dasyu Prayeshu Rajasu Janita Vishnu Yasasaha Namna Kalkihi Jagatpatihi. Now next Sutta is going to talk about, he has given 23 examples here, okay, including the Paramavataram and all that. Then he's going to say they are not limited only to these, because it's actually infinite. There is no beginning, there is no end to it. And those slokams we will take up with Swami's grace in our next session. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Arihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.